But ye have an unction from the Holy One, and ye know all things. This unction, it's a knowledge faculty. All right? So you don't need to teach a prophet how to prophesy. There is an unction that supports a prophetic anointing. First of all, the unction will switch on. And when the unction switches on, then you begin to receive what is called spiritual knowledge. The proof that an anointing is at work is that there is a teaching, an on-site teaching that takes place inside. The teaching I'm talking about is spiritual. It's handed out to you. You can't learn it. You see, before I came out today, the unction switched on. And the unction began to teach me what to say before you. You know you are big people. Right? You are mighty people. I can't just come and stand before you. You are not looking for a good spokesman. You have... when do they broadcast your news in Ghana? National news. 7 p.m. Every day, 7 p.m., there are people that know how to talk, that are saying something. And if you have met a doctor before, he studied for 6 years. If you go there, he will say something about you. He will take his equipment and touch here, touch here. Then he will say, laparotomy. You have an answer. It's built into the deposit, through which you can have access to spiritual knowledge. And until you have spiritual knowledge, you cannot deal with a spiritual thing. Until you have spiritual knowledge, you cannot participate effectively in spiritual warfare. Everything in the spiritual plane is supported by spiritual knowledge. And the purpose of the unction, that is a support structure, an administrative structure around the anointing on a man's life, is so that he can have access to the knowledge that is handed out by the Spirit of God at the spur of the moment, so that you know what to do and how to get it done. And when you follow the knowledge that you get by the anointing, then the power of the anointing opens up. And God begins to do through your life what you don't have the capacity to do as a mortal. But it's the anointing that is made upon you that confers that ability. Please help me tell your neighbor, you have an unction. Oh, that was dry. That was dry. Even say, oh my, oh my, oh my. You have an unction. The guy did not say you are about to have an unction. He didn't say you are going to have an unction. He said what? He said you have. You have an unction. You have an unction. There is so much that your pastor can teach you. There's so much that a preacher can tell you. But a preacher cannot tell you what the unction will tell you. The scope of education that a pastor, a preacher brings to you is different from the scope of education that the unction brings to you. You have an unction. Once upon a time, I just came back from a very long trip, and there was this lady. She wanted me to see her daughter because she was going to get married, and she wanted me to bless her. And I felt that was good. That was okay. That was kind. And we waited for her daughter to come. And the moment she came, the unction switched on. And I saw that she had 14 days to die. And she was showing me someone that was going to marry. But I was seeing someone that was going to die. You have what? An unction. There is spiritual knowledge that is facilitated on the basis of the unction. Oh my God. Please help me tell your neighbor again. You have an unction. I saw a lady on her way to die, and I told her, Mom, this one is about to die. And she didn't believe me. I said, all right, to make this death visible to you, the unction now taught me, if you want to make the death visible, ask her to look into your eyeballs. And she looked into my eyeballs, and the spirit of death that was upon her reacted. And you know what? This black, I don't know what it's called, the black part of your eye. And this, okay, there's no ophthalmologist here to give us perspective. There's one black thing inside of your eye. That's the thing I'm talking about. That thing went up. So all that was left was white. And she fell and was in that state for 35 minutes. The woman that brought someone to be blessed for marriage, the prayer point changed. Tell him again, you have an unction. If If all you know is what you studied in University of Ghana, the master's degree that you bagged from Kumasi, you are incapable of handling spiritual things. For spiritual things, you need spiritual knowledge. And that knowledge is sourced in an unction. It's a knowledge faculty that is spiritually built to cater for spiritual things. And it is from thence that spiritual knowledge is handed out. If you